Pac-Man is a classic and timeless video game, the basics of which are very simple. There is a maze for the play area, clear each level by eating all the pellets, and avoid the ghosts chasing you. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus takes a spin on the classic gameplay by making it all about building ghost trains. Much like classic Pac-Man, the gameplay here is also simple. The maze is split into two sides, left and right. When you eat all the pellets on one side, a fruit spawns on the other, and when the fruit is eaten, a new wave spawns on the opposite side of the maze. While navigating through the maze, you pass by ghosts, waking them up, and they join into a train following you. There are two ways to deal with all the ghosts. The first is the traditional method of eating a power pellet and munching them all down. The other is to use a bomb. The bomb sends all the ghosts in play back to the ghost pin at the cost of lowering the game speed. The game speed increases based on the points gained by eating fruit, pellets, and ghosts. When you're about to collide with a ghost, the game goes into slow motion. The problem with this is that the timer is still counting down at a normal speed. This forces you to make a choice on whether or not to use a bomb, slowing the game speed down, or to eat up the clock waiting for an opening while hoping not to die. Dying not only eats up precious time on the clock, it also slows down the game speed by at least 3 or up to 10 points if you are at maximum game speed. The only good things about dying is that you pop right back up at the spot you died, and you get a refill on bombs. Score Attack is the first of 3 game modes. It's split between a 5-minute and 10-minute time limit. The 5-minute Score Attack has 3 different difficulties. Beginner starts with the slowest game speed and caps at 30. Normal has a medium start speed and caps at 40. And Expert has the fastest start speed and caps at 50. The next game mode is the Time Trial mode. It is split between multiple short waves of the maze and the full maze. The goal for this mode is to eat all the pellets and the fruit as fast as possible. The short time trial is usually composed of a few waves of the maze, and the full stage time trial is all the waves. The best paths to take for the time trial usually ignore the sleeping ghosts completely for the pellets. This mode has 2 difficulties, the standard time limit and your personal best. The final game mode is Ghost Combo, and the goal is to eat as many ghosts as possible. This mode is all about eating ghosts and keeping the power pellet effect active. This mode has a time limit of 10 minutes and allows an early finish by eating more ghosts than your previous best attempt. What I enjoy most is the speed of the game when playing well. The feeling I get from moving around the mazes at the maximum game speed is almost zen-like. At least that's the best I can explain it. My brain kinda shuts off once I'm in the groove, and the only time I notice that I'm thinking again is after a series of mistakes. There's also the compulsion to do better each run of a maze, and, well, eating a bunch of ghosts is just fun. The music is pretty good as well. The 5 in-game tracks are all good at keeping you focused on the game. If I had to pick a favorite out of the songs, it would be Pac Rainbow. You can choose which song to play in the maze menu along with other cosmetic choices for the maze and Pac-Man styles. I only have 4 problems with the game, at least enough for me to complain about them. 2 of them are minor, one is a personal problem, and the last is just a poorly executed maze design. The first minor problem is the high score leaderboards. The cheating going on here is just blatant. My problem comes from the fact that most of my drive for playing the game is getting a better score, and seeing that the top scores on the leaderboards being a bunch of people who aren't even trying kind of ruins my drive for getting better at the game. The whole point of being able to watch one of the high score runs is to see how someone else did it and to see where you can improve, and instead it's just a big disappointment to say the least. My second minor problem is the 10-minute time limit for score attack just feels like it goes on for far too long. The 5-minute score attack hits the sweet spot in that it isn't too long, and that it's just short enough to make me feel like I need more time. The third problem is that some of the achievements for the game are tied to sharing the other achievements on Facebook. This is rather easily circumvented, but having a skin tied to it just makes the whole thing feel worse than it actually is to me. I know we're currently in the age where you need to keep people engaged on the internet for algorithms to stay happy, and to keep people thinking about your product, but it really does make my skin crawl a bit. As for the maze, I feel like the Championship 1 maze is the worst one in the game. The problem with it is that it's trying to recreate the classic Pac-Man design into the Championship playstyle, which ends up being a worst of both worlds, as it fails to capture the feeling of playing classic Pac-Man, nor does it have the sleeping ghosts to make trains. This causes the map to play a lot slower than the others due to the fact that the only ghosts in the maze spawn from the pin in the middle, and you're encouraged to keep the power pellet effect active for as long as possible, even in the score attack modes. This is still a very good game, and I definitely recommend buying it, especially on sale. The regular price is about $10 USD, and I think you can get the game and all the extra stuff for at least half that when it's on sale.